Hello friends, as I promised I will start this issues videos. So the thing is that whatever I am going to discuss in these videos, they are the most important issues which are actually going to come in examination, that is mains examination. So this particular video is for the GS2, and I will discuss some important issues that I read today. So these videos I am making from the compilation that Insights have given for their current affairs. So those compilations are actually very good, and we can find the major issues from the last December to this particular October. And only newspaper reading is not going to help you. The what actually is going to help you is understanding the major issues. So we'll start. First issue is women empowerment. So when this particular topic comes, you should know that what are the steps that government has taken in order to empower women. So I will just tell you that Mahila Bank was opened. Then 1/3 reservation is given to women in panchayats and municipalities. So this is second step. Then Sharda Act was passed. Then Domestic Violence Act, compulsory registration of marriage act, so that no one can cheat the girl. Then self-help groups like Seva. Then equal wages for equal work. This is also one of the provisions of DPSP, as well as this has been made a law by Manrega, in which women also get same wage as men. But generally in private sector, women don't get. Then Justice Verma Committee report, which came on sexual violence, so that recommended quite huge, means quite strict laws for punishing those people who do sexual violence. Then good implementation of this particular report. Then Nirbhaya Fund was also there. Then Beti Bachao Beti Padhao. So these are some of the examples of women empowerment. Okay, then the second issue is autonomy of censor board. So this news was in a lot of uh, detail, and it was in a lot of what do you say, means it was in a lot of limelight. And why it was in limelight? Because this particular movie was made by Dera Sacha Sauda chief, Guru Ram Rahim Singh. He made a movie on himself, and he has been accused of murder, rape, and cheating people and sexual violence. So that's why. And even in his movie, he has shown a lot of superstitions. So that's why the censor board banned his movie or cut some part from it, and that led to a rift between government and censor board. So these are the issues in this particular matter. One is that Article 19, that is absolute freedom, should be given to the people for expression or not. Article 19 is all about freedom of expression. Then effect on film on population. So this is also an issue that the films have more effect on the population, because that is a visual plus sound thing, and Indian population is very much attracted to the film. So this question also came in UPSC mains in previous year. And some of the examples in which censor board has taken good decisions are like Final Solution. This was a documentary which was published in Gujarat after Gujarat riots, in which they were advocating that all Muslims should be killed. So censor board just banned this movie, and this is a good thing, because that's why we need censor board, so that such things cannot do not come in the society. But then censor board also banned this movie Gulabi Aina. So this Gulabi Aina was a movie on the life of transgender, how what problems they face and how they are able to overcome that, and what are the specific problems in India. So the censor board banned this, and this is a regressive decision because this is against the transgender rights. And this movie won a lot of awards in foreign countries and a lot of accolade. So this is against human rights as well as freedom of expression. So you can give these two examples if this particular censor board question comes: Final Solution and Gulabi Aina. Then some of the reforms that were recommended are autonomy of Central Board of Film Certification from Ministry of Information and Broadcasting. So this particular censor board should be autonomous, and it should not come under ministry. That way it will be working autonomously and without any favor or nepotism, or towards favoring a particular ideology. So that is the main issue, that censor board should be autonomous. Then for choosing the members of censor board, NGO and civil society can contribute. And then we can also formulate stronger film certificate appellate tribunal like National Green Tribunal. So this is also a recommendation. So these three recommendations are there for reforms in censor board. Okay, then coming on the next issue, India United States relations. A lot of articles keep on coming. So still you should know the basic contour on means the basic boundary line under which these particular relations flourish. So some of the issues are like China angle. India and US have came closer because US is worried about China's rise, and that's why it wants to promote India also. Similarly, Japan wants to promote India and have a good relationship because it wants to have a counterbalance against China's rise. So everyone is worried about China, so that is a main issue or main angle. Then second particular thing is energy security between India and United States. So United States is helping us a lot in nuclear to become a responsible nuclear nation, as well as new technologies in renewable energy that is also being transferred. Then cooperation in Make in India, so that we need a lot of funds from United States, so that is also an angle. Then agriculture and food processing industries, our food processing is not that much developed, so we need new technologies from US. Then you all know IT and knowledge industry, a lot of IT professionals work in US. Also a lot of companies export a lot of services to US citizens as well as their companies. So we know that IT business is a lot of flourishing, that because of demand from United States. There are a lot of people work in United States and they send remittances, so that reduces our current account deficit. Then fight against terror. Both countries are plagued with terrorism, and they want to remove the terrorism from the whole world. And then also India needs support of United States for entry into Security Council. So these are some of the contours on which our relations are balanced. Then some of the major issues between our relations are nuclear liability bill. So this particular liability bill, as you know, that it says that the liability should be on the supplier if something means some mishap happens in nuclear plants. So this was a major issue, and you know that there is a lot to discuss about it. So just know that this nuclear liability bill is a issue. Then another issue is common but differentiated responsibilities (CBDR) in climate change negotiations. India is saying that there should be common but differentiated responsibilities, but United States want equal responsibilities for every nation. So that is against historical emissions that these countries have done. Then third issue is India solar policy. India has made domestic rules that 25% of all the equipments that are purchased for the India solar policy, they will be purchased from the domestic companies. So that decision of Indian government was challenged by the US in WTO. Then the fourth is aid to Pakistan. This is also a controversial issue because America gives a lot of aid to Pakistan. Then visa issue, that America has tightened its visa policy, so Indians are not getting visa. Then IPR in pharmacy controversy. So this is a big issue because you know that India was put in their banning list, in which they means priority country list, and information, this patent rights, and they are means very much respected in United States because they do a lot of patents and copyrights. But in India, the patents rights are violated a lot due to this generic medicines and generic pharmacy. So that's why there was a lot of controversy, and it resulted in a lot of diplomatic hurdles. So these are some of the irritants of Indo-US relations, and these are some of the cooperation things. Okay, then coming on the next issue, you know that a lot of ordinances were passed by this particular government. So the center can pass ordinance by Article 123 using it. And also there is a issue of joint session, that there was a news that if the opposition is not allowing the bills to be passed by normal route in Rajya Sabha, so the government will prefer to use joint session. So joint session is Article 108. So remember these articles. If you quote articles in your answers in general studies paper 2, you get much more marks. So believe me. Then floor management is, these are some of the terms which you can use while discussing about this parliamentary problem. So one term is floor management, that is very bad right now. Then frequent house disruptions, pragmatic concessions. This pragmatic concession should be given by the opposition in order to make sure that the parliament runs smoothly. So use these terms: floor management and frequent house disruptions. Okay, then coming on what ordinances that our government passed. So it passed coal mines ordinance, citizenship ordinance, land bid ordinance, like three times they passed it, and right recently only they allowed it to lapse. And also foreign direct investment in insurance. So FDI in insurance is a huge policy matter, and it should not be passed by ordinance route. Ordinance should be only used in emergency rather than using it as a means daily thing. Okay, then another point is that reactionary recourse, and this is done by our opposition. They are reacting too violently on small issues or any issue, and they are not discussing actually the problems in the parliament, and that is resulting in not parliament not functioning. Then that is against our democratic underpinnings. Our democracy is based on debate, discussion, and dissent, but that should be in a cordial way. Then some of the solutions. The biggest solution is DC Vadhva versus State of Bihar case. This is extremely important. And if some question comes on ordinance, you have to write DC Vadhva versus State of Bihar case and its judgment. So I will tell you what was happening is that in Bihar, the government was run by ordinances, and re-promulgation of ordinances were done by governor a lot of times because there is no constitutional means what do you say, no constitutional stopping of governor how many times he can re-promulgate the ordinances. So there were 256 ordinances promulgated, and 69 were re-promulgated several times from 1967 to 1981. So it's like almost for 13-14 years the government was run not based on the acts or laws made by the state legislature, but the government was being run by the ordinances. So this was against our constitutional mandate. And you also should know that article 213 is the power is the constitutional article which gives governor the power to promulgate ordinances. So this is also true that 7.5 months is the maximum life of ordinance, because this is a rule that no two sessions should have a difference of more than 6 months. So the government has to call a new session every 6 months or before that. So if the ordinance is passed and 6 months lapses, so the new session will start of the legislature, and then ordinance has to be passed within 6 weeks. So 6 weeks means approximately 1.5 month. So this is the maximum life of an ordinance, 7.5 month. And court has power to question the satisfaction of governor or president. So this is the case in which the court actually questioned what president or governor can do or cannot do, what is their limits under constitution. And also one more important thing is public interest litigation. This was a concept which is originated by Supreme Court, and the main Justice Bhagwati, he gave this particular concept. And according to him, rule of law should be the primary concern in any democratic country, and constitutionally should be followed. So in order to protect rule of law, any public interest litigation can be filed. Okay. Okay, I have copied the judgment of Vadhva versus the state of Bihar. So I will just read it for you. And this is Vadhva judgment is crucial. So just remember what Supreme Court said. So the powers conferred on the governor under Article 213 is to meet conditions arising out of emergencies. Only emergency should be in emergency should ordinances be promulgated, and is not meant to be substitute for the legislative functions. The primary lawmaking authority rests with the legislature, and the executive cannot be allowed to make laws which are against basic principles of the constitutionalism. Fine. That would be clearly subverting the democratic process which lies at the core of our constitutional scheme. Okay, so means primarily legislature should make laws, and executive should not make laws based on its whims and fancies, because it is against basic principle of Indian constitution. Okay, then next, a constitutional authority cannot do indirectly what it is not allowed to do directly. Okay, adopting questionable methods to circumvent constitutional principles is a fraud on the constitution. The governor does not have the power to re-promulgate the same ordinance successively without bringing it before the legislature. So this is the thing that you just cannot keep on re-promulgating the same ordinance again and again. You have to bring that ordinance in legislature to be accepted or rejected or passed as an act. So governor cannot assume legislative powers in excess of the constitutional limits. So this is the judgment in this DC Vadva case. So the Supreme Court, this is a famous line that there must not be ordinance Raj in the country. So this is the line given by the Supreme Court. So these are some of the big issues and basic issues which I have discussed in this particular video, and we will discuss more issues in tomorrow's video. So thank you and see you next video.